Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're discussing how to audit your Amazon PPC account like a pro. What are the common mistakes made during your Amazon PPC audits? What are some of the key metrics that you have to know? And what changes you should make to your Amazon PPC campaign after identifying low performing keywords? All right, welcome to the Lunch with Norm e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast.
Lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm.
All right, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about how to audit your Amazon PPC like a pro. Our guest is an accomplished Amazon seller and private label owner. She's built a solid foundation over 4 years. Driven by need to support her brand in 2020, she mastered Amazon advertising through extensive self-study. Let's see if I can get that out. Her expertise led to the creation of Scale Wave, an agency focused on Amazon PPC advertising. And this is a first-time guest. This is Noemi Bolojan. But first, let me do a read for our sponsor, Seller Basics. Hey, Amazon sellers, ever faced with account suspensions, ASIN hiccups, or IP headaches? Introducing Seller Basics, your Amazon accounts guardian. With just $99 per month or code NORM, $89 a month, Seller Basics offers a dedicated team to shield your business from these challenges. Plus, this membership offers free legal consultations from seasoned e-commerce attorneys. And guess what? There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel with just a month's notice. You can view Seller Basics as your Amazon accounts health plan, and you can check them out at sellerbasics.com. Now, for the disclaimers, Seller Basics is not an insurer or law firm. Consultations come from independent firms. Results may vary, and membership is needed before leading to claims. Also, terms apply. Okay, now let's bring in the Squire of Blunderville.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You're probably at this point, just waking up in Hawaii. And what's that?
6 o'clock in the morning? I don't think so.
Well, yeah, you got to do your workout and whatever you people that wake up early do.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So if you're watching this live right now, this is a pre-recorded episode. So we're filming this for BDSS. Happening in Hawaii right at this moment. So this is a pre-recorded episode. We're still taking questions and comments, and we're going to throw these over in the WhatsApp group when this episode airs. When it is streamed live, there is still a giveaway too, so make sure you stick around so you can enter your giveaway. And I think that's it.
All right. Well, there are a couple of other things still to talk about. During this time, we should be very close to launching. Oh, hold it. I guess I'm wrong. We've probably already launched our new podcast and our AI summit probably about 3 weeks ago. So anyway, I don't know what day this is going to air, but what should I say? I'm kind of lost for words. Kelsey, come on in here.
I'm going to let you suffer on this one a little bit. I was confused.
For some reason,
what was going on?
I don't know. For some reason, I thought we were still doing the AI webinar that we just had, which it was probably fantastic. What do you think, Kels?
I think you're the blunder boy today.
I think I am. Oh my God. All right. Well, let's get into this. I think this is going to be very good. And from what I understand, our guest does have a presentation. So it's going to help you walk through and understand how to audit an Amazon PPC. So comments or questions in the comment section, and sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the episode. Welcome, Noemi.
Hello, hello. How is it going?
Good. Well, I forget what day this is going to air, and everything I was announcing is already passed.
You do know that this can be like post-edited, so that's the beauty of it. Whenever you're not doing live shows, there you go.
I know. It's weird doing something that's pre-recorded. You're so used to the
Yeah.
live atmosphere. But today you were just showing me that you have a presentation. Before we get going, I just want to go back. I was looking at your bio, and you're all self-taught with Amazon PPC.
And that's also the reason why I'm bringing this type of topics, because my core value or core mission is helping others who were me just like 4 years ago and they didn't have anything where to learn, how to learn, or how to structure whatever they're learning, because nowadays there's so much information available and you do not know which information is right, and even worse, when to apply it. So in hope that that is something that I'm going to deliver during this presentation, let's get to it.
All right. One of the things when I got started with Amazon, selling on Amazon, there wasn't even PPC. There was no PPC. And then when it came out, it was just a couple of pennies here or there. In fact, in our agency contract, we had that you had to spend a minimum of $300. That was per month. It wasn't per day. It's per month. And we just so people were serious. And we had a lot of pushback because that was too much. $300 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nowadays, at least like $3,000 at least per month. That is like without business. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very hard to really show up.
Absolutely. So how did you even study and get to the point where you are right now? It's tough, and just finding the right course, the right learning material, and it's not easy. There's so many different variations to do this. How did you learn?
By losing a lot of money.
Oh,
and
okay.
Learning what doesn't work, it's really trial and error and a lot of troubleshooting. And I believe that also you will agree to this. While you see, like, you're looking at everyone and they are like so smart. Right now, many people are getting smart on your money. So that's why I want to bring you all this knowledge so you can learn and you can ask better questions. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, you could lose a lot of money if you don't watch what you're doing. Okay, well, why don't we just get right into it? I think the presentation looks fantastic. It's very visual. So you might have to explain some of the presentation if you've got graphs or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. So basically the presentation or today's topic is how to audit your Amazon ad account like a pro. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic, and especially why if you are watching this video and you're not listening, I mean, if you are watching this one, you will see clearly that it's actually a picture of a doctor like doing some audit. They are also have their coat and so on. But the reason for that is really we are like doctors. We are assessing a symptom, whatever is going on with an account. And during these few slides that I had here prepared, they all cover the topics that you mentioned, Norm. It's just in a way more structured way. So all the questions that might be popping up during the presentation here might be answered. So basically here it says how to audit your account like a pro, and basically also to stay on top of your game whenever it comes to checking your account's health. And quick intro, what is an account audit? And I'm sharing here an X-ray. This is what it is really. It's a really detailed X-ray or snapshot of the current state of your account in a specific moment. An audit is really just like that, And then why would you audit your account? It's actually two-folded. Two things are there. How to prevent. So we were talking about how did I learn so much is, yes, I made money, but I also lost a lot of money. And it comes to understanding what to apply when. And if you don't know how to prevent something, then for sure you're going to lose that money, basically. So how would you prevent? And then basically how to detect the discrepancies and the real data, the story behind apparent success. And this is something that I would like to expand on, because most of the time you can so easily lie with data, Norm. I mean, you can super easily lie with data. And lying with data, basically, it means a 7-day report and a 14-day report and a 30-day report, as well as a 60-day. It will be totally different. Yeah, it might have different trends overall, but the idea is that whatever you want to show with data, you will have to understand whatever the data means, right? So first off, it's going to prevent you to see the clear metrics, the clear results in a specific time range. Second, it's going to help you measure how close you are basically to meeting your revenue goals. Keep in mind that we're not doing this because we like to spend time on stuff that it's not helping, but rather we're doing this to really understand how far are we or how close are we to our revenue goals. And the third thing is really to identify the next steps to boost your revenue or profitability, depending on the strategy on the account. Also, of course, to optimize overall account efficiency, as well to ensure the focus remains on your top selling products. Keep in mind, most newbies don't really realize that, and even like big sellers don't really realize that if you're not focusing on your top selling products, what you're going to be focusing on the 80% that actually it's not working. So that's also a few tips that I'm going to give more details during the next slides as well. And of course, to rediscover effective keywords that were mistakenly paused. This is a huge one because sometimes, because Amazon is providing you the data and there's like a discrepancy of time to 2 to 3 days, sometimes you might be pausing a keyword or a campaign even that did perform really well, but right now, just because you have the data, remember the data was lying to you because you don't have the full picture, you're just pausing something that actually really worked for you. So basically, the account is going to help you to prevent. This is the first step, right?
Okay. And I guess even what you're talking about here, prevention too would be going into a season like holidays, Prime Day. You might want to protect your inventory for until a certain time period. You could blow everything. You could lose money on doing and setting up any of these holidays wrong.
I love
So
that.
prevention, just being under, I would probably put that under there too.
Definitely. And I love that we're doing it this way because, we are learning from each other, and like, I just forgot it from the phone, but definitely that is. So being on top of your game, that would be the idea. Knowing whatever you are currently doing, whatever work, as you were also saying, and then being on top of your game, definitely. So on the second part of this, it's going to be how to expand. So basically, we're talking here about expanding successful campaigns. If something works well for you, you should double down on that. Then also address daily budget shortfalls. Here we're talking about understanding whenever something is working well for you, but your budget might be limited. What might happen is that you're shooting yourself in foot because you're not leaving a campaign that is working well to breathe. Basically, you're just shutting it down. And then also to eliminate underperforming keywords that are wasting budget over time, as well as how to highlight your top performing keywords. Really, really important. Not only the worst performing keywords, but also the top ones. We should keep an eye on it. And of course, to check in if competitors are overtaking your best keywords. Now, I'm not sure if you are seeing this, but like on my end, sometimes it's just because you want to dominate and to get so much market share, but it's going to happen exactly this last point, that checking if competitors are overtaking your best keywords, it's happening way more often than someone would think of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the next part is really just as a medical checkup addresses various health aspects. Also, an account audit would examine multiple elements to ensure your ad strategy is right. Is it sound? Is it effective? This is what we're looking for. We're not looking for how to patch right now. We're looking what is happening right now to the account. So basically, when to audit your account, and here I would say weekly, quick adjustments, 7-day trends even. And this is something that would apply to whenever you're creating a new campaign. For example, you would not wait for a whole week to see what is going on, especially maybe it is a ranking campaign. Maybe your bids are extremely high. Maybe you're bidding out the competition, and you must be bidding very, very high. So clearly you're not going to waste all that money. But still, here, if needed adjustments, you would be doing it. And of course, I would also recommend a monthly audit. This is really to understand deeper trends. Again, I'm just giving here 30 days trends, but this is going to be important, especially with what we were talking about pausing things that previously worked and you're not sure, or maybe by mistake you paused something. So this would mean you're auditing the account to understand that you didn't do anything that you did not supposed to do, right? And of course, I would highly recommend having this on your calendar, because otherwise what's going to happen is like, it's a wish if it's not really in your calendar, right? So wishful thinking, we know where does this bring us, but here it's going to be strategic rather than, oh, I forgot about it. Oh, and now it's the 15th of the day. Oh, and I'm going to do the 30 days, because otherwise what's going to happen with any disciplines, you're going to just pile up stuff on top of each other, basically.
Now, do you have a daily checklist?
Oh, that's a great question. I have not prepared for this presentation, but I do have a walkthrough of exactly what would we do the moment that we see an account. So that, I think it would be helpful. But right on top of my mind, what would be, it's really important, depending on the account. If you just starting, let's give two scenarios. So this can be applicable for both people. If you're just starting a product, you're starting your brand, you just launched the first product, then what you would do is, of course, on a daily basis, you started your campaigns, you will see how it's performing. Really important is we are looking at extremes. So are there impressions there? People are looking at the product, they're finding it. Is their bid high enough or competitive enough? If there are 0 impressions, clearly your bid is not high enough, so you would increase your bid. And the second thing is, the campaign started bleeding, meaning that there are a lot of clicks there and nothing is converting. So those would be like 2 directions that I would look into whenever we're starting a campaign. Did that answer your question for the first one?
Yeah, it did. Sure.
Okay, and then for like more mature accounts, it's going to be, okay, what do you want to achieve? It's the same principle, it applies, but it's like at what level, what strategy do you want to approach? Because let's say that you want to rank for specific keyword that you might be losing to your competitors, then even if it's bleeding, you know that you're playing the long game, you're looking at TACoS level, not ACoS. So then the strategy is going to be different as well.
All right.
All right, audit types. So I see 2 audit types, and this, again, discover this just because, when you're doing so many things and you think that you did your best, and then the brand says, or that someone says like, this is not what I was looking for. So this is how I actually discovered that it can be 2 types of audits. It can be like an overall account audit. This is the full account audit. And here what you would be doing is looking at the overall account performance, looking at the reviewing all the campaigns, all the keywords, all the KPIs the account currently has. Basically, this is a bird's eye view of whatever is going on in your account. And then the second one is going to be a SKU level audit. Simple, just like that. It's just the one product that you're going to audit and see what is going on within this one product. It's a single SKU, focus on specific keywords we were just talking about. Maybe it's a ranking campaign, looking up what is going on with that campaign, or an ACoS, or overall conversion rate. And of course, this is great also for troubleshooting. Whatever it's happening, something to your top seller, and you might be having several products, but the top seller is suffering. If we are not able to audit that top seller and understand that that top seller is the one that is bleeding money, doesn't matter that the other products just picked up, our top seller is going to suffer. So I think making the differentiation between these 2 is going to be important, because then you don't have to do this always. But if it's a simple product that you're focusing on, that is something that you should have the data for. Some of the key metrics to monitor, of course, is the health of the account. So basically here we are going to look at the campaign type distribution, sponsored product, sponsored brand, and sponsored display. And here, if you're watching this, I'm just showing a funnel with my hand. Basically, what this means is that whenever on an account level, there are certain campaign types. So sponsored products are the ones that are bringing usually most of the sales. Sponsored brands are giving brand recognition. Sponsored display, both brand recognition, and also it's going to help you retarget maybe purchases that previous purchases from the same clients, So understanding where do you stand there is really important, because if you don't understand that, and if you are mixing campaign types, what is going to happen is that you might think that you're getting the ranking that you're looking for, but you're not. And giving you an example, usually we would look at sponsored products dominating in around 70 to 80%, sponsored brands in around 20 to 30%, 20 to 15%, and then sponsored display the rest. And the reason for that is because always whenever we're looking at an account, again, learning from my own mistakes, right, on our own brands, is what we learned is that if you're not specifically dominating on sponsored products and if they are not bringing the most of the revenue, what's going to happen? Sponsored brands actually are not helping as much with ranking, right? Google ads are helping with ranking, Facebook ads, all the type of ads are helping with ranking, but sponsored products are helping most with ranking, especially exact matches. So that's very, very, very important to know, because otherwise you're losing focus and you would focus on things that actually do not matter as much. So understanding that. Then the reliance on automatic and manual campaigns. Of course, more automatic campaigns are present. There's like more bleeding, more possible bleeding available on an account level, simply because automatic campaigns also require a lot of, how to create automatic campaigns, because they need to be like negating specific keywords, basically. And then the manual campaigns, of course, they would give you more control. However, those also need a lot of attention, because there also we would be needing to negate stuff. And then reliance on non-branded versus branded keywords. Again, this is important for you to know, because if, let's say, you're selling really well on your branded terms and you have a Shopify, or like you have your own website, you're selling your products, someone who would look up your product on Amazon and buy your product on Amazon might consider your product with your branded keyword, but might not consider your product if it compares it with something that is like, I want something cheap and I want it fast and I don't care about the quality. So understanding the difference between these two is really important, because what we are seeing on our end is that most companies or most brands who are heavily reliant on branded terms, what's going to happen, it's going to be quite hard for them to rank for other keywords as well, or like gain even more market share. And also we see vice versa, products or brands that they don't have so much brand loyalty, it's going to be very hard for them to, just because of the brand, they were just purchased because of the brand. And understanding that within the whole as a bird eye view is going to be very important, because then you know how easy or how hard it's going to be for you to scale the account, and also how costly it's going to be. Then the third thing is, it's the CPA. So on an account level, the cost per acquisition. And basically here, what we would be doing is looking into this account, like on an overall account level, this is the CPA basically. And then what you can do, the next step further is, if the CPA is so high, how to improve that. And the first thing would be, of course, optimization. But the next thing would be, maybe I have a product where the cost per acquisition is actually way lower, where I'm more profitable, and I'm actually not putting a lot of attention to that product. So again, just shifting focus from whatever the data is giving you. And then last but not least, spending distribution or spending percentage distribution, especially for multiple SKU accounts. Because if you have a SKU, God bless you, you're the best. 100% of your ads are going in the same space, right? In the same campaigns, in the same whatever. But if you have multiple SKUs, it's going to be very important for you to focus on the top selling products, because ones that, those are the bloodline. So those are bringing you revenue. And if they're working well, it's great. But if those are not working well, anything, the tail that is behind the 99 products that are like going are not going to work, because they don't have any more the bloodline cut. Basically, this is the health. Yes.
I was just wondering, and I'm not sure if this should be in here, and I don't even know if you like to talk about this, but brand defense.
Yes.
Surrounding your product with your branded terms. So you're protecting yourself. Now that can be very costly, but should a brand do that?
Oh, that's a great question. And I do believe it does come down to really cost per acquisition. And it comes down to, if your brand is really known, you should be doing it. Because once that, I don't know about you now, but like I'm just like showcasing here, Lacra. I have no clue what brand this is, but I bought this 5 years ago. I'm still buying it. So if you have a strategy where you have brands, like your brand is important, then you would go for it and you would want the next client to stay there, because then it's going to be a lifetime value. If your product is not something that would be repurchased, for example, then I would say it's good to have it. It's really a defense mechanism. I'm also talking about understanding which strategy when to apply. There are like in a different like topic, it's evergreen strategies, and this is like defending your brand is one of them. And I would advocate to start with it, because once that you're starting with it, usually that is the cheapest. And then once that you gain more and more traffic, then you will see how much does this actually cost, you know? So it's debatable, and let me know if I actually answered your question.
Yeah, and especially like for me with brand defense, I've seen it with some of our clients where people have tried to knock off their product or their logo, and it really does take a second take to take a look at the product. And you can see this a lot of the times in beauty, supplements do this. So that's where I really think the brand defense comes in. If you've got somebody trying to hone in on your brand, you've got to knock them off. And especially if it's a recurring product where you can get regular sales. So just my thought.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with what you were saying. And I do believe that consumable products, especially something that can bring brand loyalty, are very, very important. And you should be running those ads. At which extent, how much budget do you have? What is the strategy that you're going for? End goal is going to be, are you getting whatever you want to get? And if you're not running these ads, usually someone else is going to have that precious real estate on your listing.
Right.
So this is basically on the health level of the account. But here, when it comes to some of the key metrics to monitor, is going to help you with efficiency. The top 5 campaigns, the top 5 spending campaigns, the top 5 keywords. These are really important because these are, again, the bloodline of whatever is going on right now in the account that is going in a direction. So non-converting keywords, again, they are very important because those are the first ones that you can stop right away, especially if there is no strategy behind them. Or let me rephrase that, especially if it's no current strategy behind them. Because what might happen, a campaign that you just started 2 years ago, and it's still there, and it still has a few clicks, and it's like, are you still using the campaign? Are you still like, is this still relevant for you? And if it is not, it should not be there, right? And then keywords with over 100% ACOS that don't have the purpose for ranking, but have a high ACOS. So I think it's really important to understand the distinction between keywords that cost a lot. We were just talking about, if you have a strategy on, I'm willing to pay for this specific keyword to rank for it and stay in the game and then gain more market share. It's a different scenario when you're overspending on something that is clearly not working for you. So then this is going to help you with the efficiency of the account. So over 100% ACOS, just because that is like all the profit is gone, basically. And if you want to have that, it's okay, but then it's going to be a longer way. And then a quick process map.
I think we're probably at the bottom of the hour. So what I would just want to do is shout out to anybody who wants to get into or enter the Wheel of Kelsey today. So if this is the first time you're listening, at the top of the hour, we have a giveaway called the Wheel of Kelsey. So all you need to do to enter is hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get a second entry. So Naomi, what do we have to give away today?
We do have some goodies, whatever I wished for and couldn't afford. Some time with someone who really knows their stuff, a professional who understands and really just like bounce ideas. So I am happy to give a 30 minutes strategy call with myself, yours truly, where we can go through your account. We can discuss whatever you want to achieve with your account and see how can we help. And most especially something that is an objective point of view, not subjective. So
all right.
that's going to help.
And so to enter that is hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, you get a second entry. And now, Kels, let's go to our second sponsor. All right, everybody. So I'm going to be at BDSS probably by the time you see this, but with Colin. So Colin's one of the speakers. So this is Colin C. Campbell. He put together a book called Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. It is probably one of the best, if not the best, book on business that I've ever read. It's not just me saying that. There's tons of reviews saying that as well. It goes through the entrepreneurial journey from starting a business to scaling to exit and then repeating it. And within the books, about 400 plus pages, he breaks each section down into categories and subcategories. So you could use this almost like a reference guide. So it's published by Forbes. It's on Amazon. You can get a Kindle softcover or a hardcover. And those of you who are at BDSS, guess what? You get a copy. And it's also on Audible. So that's Colin Campbell, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. All right.
Next is going to be really the process map. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to audit. So we're assessing the situation. We're creating an action plan. We're going to implement it. Then we're going to daily monitor it, weekly reporting it, monthly reporting it, and then reassess whatever data we found. And then we're repeating the same process. So it's quite straightforward. It's just really the discipline of doing it and doing it regularly, I think. And then here, this is actually something that I never shared publicly. This is one of our internal processes, basically, on what do we do whenever we find an account, and then, okay, which are the steps that should be taken? And here, this can be applied both to an overall account audit. It can be applied both to on a product level audit. But basically here, what we're doing, we're taking the top spending campaigns. It can be the top 5. It can be the top 10. We like to go into the top 10 because that's in more detailed, basically. You can do the top 5. And then basically we're looking at the naming structure. So is the naming structure clear? Do we understand what is going on within that account? Because if we don't, the problem is going to be that we might be just doing and repeating the same things over and over again, or we might already have a campaign that's working fine, but we're not aware of that. So once that we look at the campaign, is it clear? We would change the campaign naming in bulk files. You can absolutely do this on the ad console as well. Bulk files, if you're familiar with it, it's going to be way simpler. Then in the campaign itself, if there are multiple products in one campaign, next thing that we're going to look into checking and pausing non-performing campaigns or non-performing products. This can happen more often than you would know, simply because this was the strategy. Like Norm, you just talked about, when I started, it was like, no, I was an ad. So
right.
Back when you started, it was a totally different, everything was different, right? So it was super common, put all the products in the same campaign. It's going to work, doesn't matter. It's like an auto campaign, and it worked well, But now in 2024, when we're recording this, usually what's happening, if you do have multiple products within the same campaign, and if it's not strategically built that way, what we would do is we would check for products that are really not performing, pausing them. And also, if you have multiple well-performing products in one campaign, we would create the own campaign with exact same match type. And here, basically what we're doing is, if it's working here well, in the one campaign, don't touch it. But the other products that didn't have the chance to maybe shine, we would start a new campaign for that one, basically. And then we would look into, are there multiple ad groups per campaign? Because this is also important. The way how we would prioritize is control. So more control you have, more optimization, more effective on whatever you're doing on the account level. So here, if there are multiple ad groups, there we would look into which are the ad groups that actually are making any movement in the right direction or wrong direction. Wrong direction, just spending money. Right direction, they are good to go and they are producing money and they need only optimization. So we would pause whatever is not working well. Then also something else is the multiple match types in the same campaign. Again, normally we were talking about there were no ads. It was it was the best practice to create 3 ad group types within the same campaign, exact match, broad match, and phrase match. And right now, when we're auditing a lot of accounts, that's exactly the structure. And I just find it so funny when people are like, oh, look at that, it's so wrong. It's like, yes, because that was the current version of the Bible, let's put it that way. as right now it is to not do it that way, so it's always going to be a different way of like seeing things. So multiple layer groups are there present. Now we know what to do with that and how to control, or how much can we control a campaign itself. Then the multiple mesh types, again, here it's going to help looking at the multiple mesh types because of the cannibalization. So sometimes what can happen, you might have something in exact match and in broad match, and the exact same keyword, it's going to act differently. So if it's, for example, in a broad match and the exact keyword that you're already targeting in exact match actually is working well, but in exact match is not working well, of course you would pause the exact match and just leave the broad match. It's working well for you. Why not just have it there, right? And then also over 5 keywords, active keywords in one campaign, again, bringing back the same subject, 1,000 keywords are allowed per campaign. So don't say that there are too many keywords in the campaign. Yes, 1,000 keywords. Now the algorithm changed. Right now you have to look into, are those keywords still performing or not? Because it might be that out of that 1,000 keywords, 2 of them, 3 of them are really performing well. You would not stop those. You would not pause those. So the rest can be paused. But just having a broader view of whatever it's right now working in the account, right? And then we would look at placement modifiers. Now, this is really important because if you're not looking at placement modifiers, what you're going to end up with is bid optimization, but without actual bid optimization. You would optimize the bid, but it's still not going to react the same way that you want to. And of course, that comes down to placement modifiers, and also it comes down to bidding. So are you bidding? What is the bidding type? If it's fixed bid, if it's like up and down, if it's like down only. And why this is so important is because I believe a few months ago when Amazon made this like drastic change, so stupid simple change that they let, it was down only, then it was up and down, then it was fixed bids, and they just switched the two, and you as like someone who would create ads on a daily basis, like create campaigns, naturally you would pick the first one. And then only after some time, when we see like we are doing all the right steps, what is going on, we discovered that Amazon just switched those, so this is why it's going to be very important whenever you're auditing the account, what bidding type or bidding strategy do you have? Because again, unless it's fixed bid, whatever your strategy is, it's going to be affected of those two. And then of course, daily budget. We don't want to run out of budget for campaigns that are working well. And here the idea is, I know that many people are saying have $200 daily budget, 500, 1,000, because that's what Amazon it's suggesting you. They want to see you spend money. I would not necessarily agree with that. I would say that you should have a clear limit, and the way how we would like structure that, say one keyword conversion rate, let's say a 10% conversion rate, you would have at least $11, so, or $15 for a campaign for a keyword that has like for $1 bid, because then you're giving room for like breathe room. Otherwise, what's going to happen is either you're giving away too much without even knowing what is going to go on, or you're giving away too little. So you can incrementally change that if it's performing well, but should be still, I would avoid like having a way too like high budget for a campaign. And then of course, optimizing wasted ad spend, negate keywords. We were talking a lot about automatic matches. So this is where we would do the negation especially. And then the next layer would be for the broad and phrase matches keywords. And here as well are portfolios, budgets on. This is really important because if you have a budget for a portfolio, what's going to happen is that even if you have everything set up right, still money is not going to be spent. Also, one more layer above that is there a budget on a daily campaign, like on overall account? Because what's going to happen is, especially if you have a lot of sponsored product ads in your account, it's going to how do you call it? It's going to pause everything what's going on in your account, right? So should be aware of that. Also, quick caveat here: if you're having a lot of sponsored product ads, everything what I'm talking about the overall account level budget limit, it's going to work for you. If you have a lot of sponsor brand and sponsor display ads, it's not applicable. So you should be aware of that whenever you're creating those other campaign types. And then, are the daily budgets on? Super important. Most of the time we are like, if we're not being careful with those being on, then we just like not spending enough money. So this is why a daily optimization process would help us. Then campaign restructure, really multiple products in one ad group. If that is what is happening, we would like select only the product that it should be running the ad for, and then we would take the rest that did not perform so well or did not perform at all, adding it into their own campaigns. Multiple ad types in one campaign. Again, we would do the same process. And then catch-all campaigns. So I'm sure that also you heard of the catch-all campaigns, norms, and everyone's like, look at this, look at like, how do I grow the account and the revenue for the account? It's like, that's a bit of like, again, we are not 10 years ago, right? But catch-all campaigns are really, really good. And especially, I believe, for accounts that have a very large catalog. So they would have also like a lot of variation, maybe color variations. So you don't know exactly which one is going to work. Best strategy ever, throw everything, all the product, all the SKUs within one campaign, see which one works, and then you refine, other than this is the product that 100% is going to work, and then you just put all the money in one basket, basically. And then if targeting your own product, you would increase placement. Wait, how can I not see showcase that? So if you're targeting your own product, this is something that we were just chatted about, Norm, about targeting brand keywords and own products. We usually would increase placement modifiers for those ones, and we would not increase bids. We've seen better results. I'm not sure in your case, but that's something that, we would do right away. So again, diagnose, interpret, and then align strategy. It's stupid simple. Diagnosis is the X-ray, right? 7, 14 days, 13 days, 60 days. And when I'm talking about this, is the 7 days compared to the 14 days, compared to the 30 days, and compared to the 60 days. So you have a full screenshot of whatever is going on. You would interpret it, so detect how data lies to you or can lie to you, and then align the strategy. This is for long-term success, and of course for monthly and quarterly goals. I do also have a top 5 questions if we do still have time for this.
We have some time, yeah.
Brilliant. So I think most of the time it's really, and this is worthy, and I'm just going to skim through, because basically the most common question that we get is, what exactly does an Amazon account audit cover? So your answer here is really, whenever you are going to give an audit to your own account, is really looking at everything, all the metrics, everything what is right now happening in the account, and is the 20% that is generating the 80% of the revenue, right? How often should you really audit the account? I do advise to at least weekly and monthly, and simply to get a discipline of whatever it's currently working in the account, because this helps you like in 2 ways. One, in the moment that you do not want to do this for your account, and you're going to hire it out, maybe you are going to hire someone in-house, maybe you're going to look at an agency, maybe you still consider that I should still be doing it, but at least you create a discipline that creates accountability. So what needs to be done, right? What are the most critical metrics you should be focusing on? Really, it's cost per acquisition. That comes down to tacos, basically. So how much is your tacos on a product level? That is going to clearly showcase you if you're bleeding on a specific product or not, and if really it's worth for you to spend that money. And of course, ad and match type distribution. This will help you understand the balance between the different ad types and targeting precision. Top spending campaigns. This is going to identify where your budget is going and whether these campaigns are delivering a proportionate return. Also, these are the ones that are going to have the highest impact whatever you're doing on an account level. This is still the 20% that really matters, that it's going to showcase you all the returns. So those are really important. And then the non-performing keywords. This is going to be like highlight keywords that consume budget, that are not converting, or they are not within the same strategy that now you have for this year and not for the last year. And of course, overall account performance versus the goals that you have. So we took the screenshot, and now we're measuring of whatever we want to achieve from the account. And also it's going to help you decide, is it really doable to increase my account revenue with 10%? 20%, 30, like 50%, or when is it going to be happening then, if that's really possible, So I think that way you can really align them with business objectives. And the fourth really top question is like, can I perform an audit on myself, or do I need to hire an agency? Yes, you can definitely perform an audit. I just gave you the formula, right? So if you have that formula, you're good to go. I think the moment that you would really need to hire an agency is really to seeing someone else. How does someone else sees your account with objective eyes? And maybe you might not have the expertise. Maybe you're just like 6 months in your venture of us as a self-made Amazon advertiser, but you're already in like an expert, wink there. But the idea here is to just really understand what is going on an account level and understand how someone else sees your account, right? Because the end goal is that you are happy with your account performance and you're growing. There's really and there's profit there. So there's really the end goal. And then the last one is going to be, what should I do if my account audit reveals significant issues? So first off, you would develop a clear action plan. What is the most important thing that right now it's not working well in the account? What is the most important thing that now it's working well in the account? Those two metrics are really important for you to know, because again, a lot of troubleshooting and a lot of not doing the right things, but like learning, doing the right things, help us discover that most of the time we would focus on what's not working instead of what's working. And that is going to take away our focus from, hey, this freaking product is bringing me X amount of revenue and it's like so low ACOS and so on. And tacos, it makes sense. And I'm like, oh, but I do have 80 more products. How should I, strategize for them? So that is the most common scenario here. And really just adjusting or pausing ineffective keywords, optimizing keywords, restructuring campaigns. And then, of course, seeking out professional help. Most agencies do offer free audits. And basically, you can take on an audit. You have no obligation to stick with that agency. But during this audit, 1, you would learn more about your account. 2, you would understand really, does it work for me to do it myself or to hire someone who has more experience, So again, there's just like knowledge. And then very last slide, ready for growth. We're here to lead the way. And also I am just sharing with you a quick code that you can scan. We are also happy to help you with any questions that you might have, or anything account related, anything that I just brought up in this presentation, because the end goal is really you are being smart enough. So 1, you can do it smarter, or 2, you can hire smarter people, or 3, you know which expectations to have that really count. And that's kind of it.
Very good, very thorough. So just before we head over to the wheel, just hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and we're just going to wait a second until we go over there. And if you have any questions, you can post them in the group, and we'll get hold of Naomi and see if she can answer them. Are you in our group?
I think I am. I might not have been able to be active for a long time, but I believe I am.
Okay. Well, if you're in our WhatsApp group, then we could just write your questions, and we'll see if Amy has time. Please answer the questions, Amy. Or Naomi.
Of course.
Why did I call you Amy?
I don't know. I do go by Amy. This is my
You?
This is, but it's like, this is something that usually for our brands, because no one knows how to pronounce Noemi. So I was always like, Amy. Oh, what's your name? It's Amy, So it's funny that you actually called me that way.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Well, we've got the contact information. It was up on the screen. Do you want to just mention it again? How do people get a hold of you?
Sure thing. So best way is actually, I'm on LinkedIn, and I don't have that information here, but literally just type in Noemi, Noemi, and last name is Bolojan. So that's Noemi Bolojan. And I'm the first one who's going to pop up on LinkedIn. I was a music producer before. So if you see still music stuff, like for a long time, it is still me. Everything what I'm posting right now is just really Amazon related and so on. And another way, if you want to actually reach out to us, the Scaleway website, it's scalewave.io. So it's not .com, it's scalewave.io. And also our email, it's contact@scalewave.io.
All right. Okay. So Kels, I think it's that time. Facing cash flow challenges with your e-commerce business? Discover Viably, your ultimate financial ally. From real-time sales data integrations to immediate funding access, Viably is here to support you. Plan your growth with their free tool for online sellers and engage with specialists whenever you need. Extend your cash flow with Viably. All right, now let's go to the wheel.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right, Kelsey, where are you?
All right. Well,
Who's the winner today?
Who knows? Because this is a pre-record, and the real Kelsey will probably come on right now and let you know who the winner
Okay,
was.
so I just want to make it clear that you just said the real Kelsey is going to come on, which means that you'd have to be up at around 6 o'clock to
That's
make
true.
sure that this is happening.
Usually when this happens, it's around the same time zone. So maybe from 6 hours from now, the real Kelsey will come on and let the winner know. Yeah.
Maybe. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed today's show. You're probably going to have to go back and listen to this a couple of times, but I just wanted to thank Noemi for coming over or Amy for coming on today. That was fantastic. Very thorough. And once again, if you do have more questions, just throw it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Noemi, come back for a second.
He says hello.
Don't leave. Okay, I'm going to put you in the back room. And I just wanted to thank you for doing an awesome job with that presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. As I was saying, I wish this is the presentation that I had 4 years ago at least. So I did my best. Thank you so much for,
you did awesome.
For offering this.
All right, everybody. So I think that's it for today. We will be doing a few more pre-records while we are in Hawaii with Kevin at the BDSS conference. Best thing to do is if you want to watch these, well, there'll be a few pre-records, but if you want to watch them live, we're usually there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to join our community, you can listen to the podcast, you can sign up to the newsletter, you can go to our WhatsApp group or to our Facebook group. All right, everybody, that's it, and we'll see you next time.
Entrepreneur.